Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to the webinar of ACCA Financial Management. This is your instructor Rizwan Maniya. I hope you all are doing well and are ready for this day one. Kindly confirm everyone, is my voice, sound, everything perfectly fine and clear to all of you? Okay, great. You can see the screen. Everything is perfectly fine. Thank you very much uh, for your quick responses. So, about myself, first of all, I am a tutor and I teach PM, FM, and APM, and I am doing this since last 18 years. Uh, I have conducted lots and lots of webinars for ACCA under their brand name of P2P. And also, we conduct webinars from VIFHE platform every quarter. Okay, so if I just particularly talk about FM, though this is 22nd webinar that I am conducting right now. Many of my students have been able to become position holders in different parts of the world in these papers of PM, FM, and APM. So there has been a good track record, I would say. And if you guys also follow the plans and the guidelines that I'll be sharing with you people, the techniques, the tips that I'll be giving you right now in these 2 days of free sessions, definitely will be very useful for you. So that's it. Let's begin. How to remain connected with me during the webinar. So this is the chat box where you just confirmed me about sound and everything. Is a one where I am available. We can have a good conversation in this chat box. Number two, this is my number. You can contact me anytime at this number for any help, guidance, whatever you need help. Okay. Plus, you can always join our global FM WhatsApp groups. Global FM WhatsApp groups. So if you're not part of these groups, make sure you do become part of these WhatsApp groups of global community. So do join these groups. The admin will share the link with you people in a while. So please make sure that you do join these groups because these are important for examination perspective. There's a global community, so many students who are appearing for FM. You can have a very good two-way interaction with them. On top of it, I will be sharing very important materials in those groups relating to the current webinar and as well as all important tips and tricks. The team will just share the group link in the comment section in a while. Those who will watch this in form of recordings later on, they can simply contact the admission department at this number and they will provide you the link of these global groups just in case if you still are not able to get hold of the links. You can WhatsApp me at this number and I'll be very happy to provide you. So I've just requested the admin team. Once they will share in the chat box, I will let you know. You can join the group. All right. Now, types of students who are appearing in June 26. A quick assessment I wanted to do. Please just mention your country, where are you from, and also mention if you are giving paper the first time. So first time, India, first time Pakistan, in first time UAE, whatever it is. So please just mention very quickly in the chat box your country and is it your first time. All right, so I can see Botswana, Pakistan, Uganda, India, Nepal, Mauritius, Lesotho. So we have students from different parts of the world right now taking this session. And it's good to see that there are first timers also appearing for the exam. Very nice. The team has just shared the link in the chat box. You can just join the group if you want to. The link has been shared. Please just wait. I will ask you again to share. Okay. So thank you very much. I can see from Saudi, Bahrain as well. Right. Now just tell me, those who are giving the exam again, the reattempts, it's a reset for them. Just mention reset and your country, please. Reset and your country, please. Okay, so I can see here reset UAE, uh, Pakistan, many times Pakistan. All right. Okay. So a simple message to all of you is that if you're appearing for the first time, make sure you don't repeat the mistakes others have done in the past. You can easily pass. This should be your first and the last time of examination. Okay. Those who are giving again, remember it's a fresh attempt, it's a new attempt, it's a new day, new opportunity. Uh, you have to be more motivated. Forget about what has happened in the past. Focus on the exam and you will pass. But on top of it, learn what you did last time wrong. Learn from the mistakes you did last time and just catch up on those mistakes so that you don't repeat it. Okay. Thank you very much for your quick inputs. Team, I will ask you to please share the global WhatsApp group link again in the chat box. Please just share the link again in the chat box. Okay, just share the link again in the chat box. So once they will share it again, they have shared uh, in the chat box. Just share the link again. Now, the paper wide structure. So it's section A, B, and C that comes in your examination. Everybody has a very good, fair idea about it. 15 objective test questions, 3 case style questions, 2 constructed response questions are part of your examination. You can see that this is of 30 marks, this section is of 30 marks, and this is of 40 marks. Now, the most important thing for me here is time management that you guys need to understand. So, from exam perspective, you have 3 hours to complete 100 marks, which means you have 1.8 minutes per mark. 1.8 minutes per mark is what you have that you have to focus on and try to cover it. Your exam time management becomes one of the reasons for exam failures. So just note down this standard, and this is something that will be very much useful still in the remaining days. Today, I don't know exactly what the date is. I think 12th of May. Your exam is in first week of June. You have a lot of days left. Still, you can practice, keeping in mind the time frame. All right. Now, next is investment appraisal, business finance, business valuation, working capital, and risk management. These are the core areas of your examination. And you know that business valuation is not tested in CRQs, whereas risk management is also not tested in CRQ. The remaining, all the areas are tested in CRQs. Okay. So if I say section A, investment appraisal, business finance, valuation, work and risk management, all can come in section A, uh, all can come in section B, whereas for CRQs, valuation and risk management will not be tested. So what are the most likely questions that can come in the examination? Looking at the past practice of the examiner, investment appraisal has the biggest chance to be part of your exam again, because this is one of the hot favorite areas of your examiner. So one question you can expect from business, sorry, one question you can expect from investment appraisal. One question you can expect from business valuation in section B. One you can expect of risk management coming in section B as well. Okay. So if business valuation, risk management are tested in section B, the other third question may come from working capital or business finance. So just in case if this comes from working capital, so you can expect one question coming from business finance, or if one question comes from business finance in section B, so you can expect the other coming in C, R, Q, like working capital. Okay, so it depends then what combination the examiner will make. But for section A, there is no limit at all. Any area can be tested in section A of the exam. All right. Now, the last two exam passing ratios, if you see here, December 25, 48% is the passing ratio. March 26 is 50% is the passing ratio. Okay, so you can see here 48% and 50% are the passing ratios of December 25 and March 26. You can see a 2% increase in the passing ratio of FM in March 26, which is a very good sign. I think you guys should continue with the momentum and try to pass in June 26. All right. By the way, the FM passing ratio always remains on higher side when you compare with other skill papers. All right then, what are the key reasons for failure in FM? Let's try to look at the basic reasons, and obviously I will be focusing a lot on the ways to overcome those reasons. That is the most important thing. Okay, so starting from the first one is not understanding the question requirements. This is very crucial. Not understanding the question requirements, which means you have to focus on verbs, you have to focus on objects. Okay, now basically what we see in examination is people are not understanding CRQ requirements. If you are not understanding the CRQ requirements, then obviously you will be out of the track, you will lose the track. Okay, so if verbs are there, objects are there, you will set the right direction, you know what you have to write, because every verb has a different meaning. Okay, and that meaning needs to be applied at which subject matter, that is known as object. Okay, number two, the answer is not according to what is required in the question. So obviously, if your direction is not set, if you are not at the right track, if you don't know what verbs and objects are, then you deviate. Your answer goes in some other direction. That's a problem. Okay. That is why it is very important that you do understand, do figure out what verbs are, what objects are, and you answer accordingly. Time management has always been an issue. I already mentioned it. That's why the standard of 1.8 minutes per mark is what you have to remember. And every practice question that you do consider this minimum thing in your mind. Do not cover the whole syllabus. Selective study is not possible. These days where we are getting close to the examination, people will start again asking that same question. Just let us know the important areas, the important questions, the important areas. I am not in favor of these things, but again, I have to do it for your sake. But again, that's not a good approach. So please make sure that you do cover maximum areas of your examination syllabus, because see, it is very difficult to predict what will be tested in the exam and what will not be tested in the paper. Okay, so when I say what will be tested, what not will be tested, there are different sets of examination. So this means if there are different sets of examination, you can't expect if investment appraisal, one question came in one set of the exam, maybe other set might ask you about WACC, might ask you about working capital. So yes, it is important that you cover everything and you don't leave things. Failing to use brought forward knowledge. Yes, there are certain connections. Maybe sometimes you need to use your brought forward knowledge. Remember, in MA exam, you have covered the basics of financial management. So you may need to recall those things. I'm not saying you have to revise your MA now, but basically, sometimes students do do this mistake that they do not figure out something that they have done in the past. Okay, not good in all areas. So you know, your my exam performance report is a very important source of improvement document. Those who are not able to pass, they should go and see their my exam performance report, because that report is very crucial, very important, very useful. That my exam performance report basically tells you your areas of weaknesses. So those who are not able to pass, I will recommend them to please go and check their My Exam Performance report. That not only highlights your time management problem, it does highlights the areas in which you are not good at. Plus, in section A, B, are you good in terms of application question, knowledge based narrative calculations, okay, and where you are lacking in CRQs as well, right? So I hope this is clear to all of you. Section AOTs are creating problems for students. Yes. FM paper is a bit technical paper. So this is where they are getting problems. This is where they are facing issues. Okay. So section A OTs are creating genuine problems for the students. Make sure you cover it. And that is why I'm saying do not do selective study, because section A may come from any area of the examination. Okay. So if your theory is weak here, if your calculations are weak here, please focus on those. And those who are reappearing, they already will get to know through their My Exam Performance report that whether they are good in these areas or not. Okay, and they can put efforts accordingly. Struggling in business valuation, risk management, section B questions. Yes, I have seen a lot, because these are very hot favorite questions to be coming in the examination in section B. I have seen people are struggling in especially the theory based risk management question, theory based business valuation questions. So please focus on those. Struggling in CRQ theory remains a very common problem since so many years. This is a very common issue I've seen a lot. So please, again, verb objects are key. Drafting is very important. People do ask me how to draft. So you have to learn how to draft. It's not very complicated. The basic theories should be in your mind, like advantage, drawbacks, or different techniques of investment appraisal. Working capital theory is very important that you should keep in your mind. Business finance, capital structure theory is important. On top of it, your there are certain questions where you have to use the information from the question from your previous part, like sources of finance, where they ask you to use equity finance, debt finance, and they require you to comment what the company should do. So with the use of the ratios that you have calculated before, you have to comment on those things. So all this you will get to know once you practice more and more questions. Different varieties will come in front of you, and you can definitely perform accordingly. Yes, fail to grab easy marks. This is one of the most important reason for failure. What I mean to say by easy marks, you need to understand, you need to realize that there are easy numbers available in the examination. Not all the questions, not all the marks are difficult. Yes, there are bouncer questions, there are in-swinging Yorkers in the examination, but if you are a reasonable student, you can find out the easy marks available in section A, B, C. And once you are able to solve easy numbers, then man, you are in a very good position to pass the paper. And why I'm saying this, because these easy marks will help you to pass. The first target for you should be to grab 50 marks. The first target for you should be to grab 50 numbers. So for that 50 numbers, you have to target the easy marks first. And I will help guide that where are the easy numbers, how can you grab the marks. Webinar day wise plan. Day one is today, where I will be targeting exam area section C, B, and if time permits, A. Exactly in day two, same C, B, and A. These 2 days are free for students. Okay, so you will be able to take these free sessions with me. You can even watch my previous March 26 webinars available on VIFHE's YouTube channel as well. Along with that, if you are a self-study student, you can join my revision batch, which is a paid batch. This batch is very crucial for examination if you are a self-study student. So this revision batch will help you to pass. It will give you that required confidence, that required boost needed in the last days. So the pre-recorded content is part of this batch, and this pertains to top 25 to 30 areas of your examination, along with the practice of those areas. So you can revise the key areas of your paper with the practice. So it will give you a good recap and will further make your concepts and techniques stronger. Not only this, you will also be able to join my grand revision, which will be a live grand revision of entire FM knowledge based area. And there will be two mocks which are part of this package. One will be a live mock with a live debrief that I'll provide you, and we'll be marking that mock as well. On top of it, there'll be a complimentary mock with a complimentary debrief that will be given to you after the marking of the first mock is done. Once you are able to get the feedback, what you've done wrong, what are your problems, you can then attempt the complimentary mock. So we'll be giving you a very good small plan for few days, and the plan would be one in which you have to focus on the recorded content. A separate planner for recorded content is also part of this revision camp, and we want you to be part of this revision camp if you're a self-study student, and focus on your weaker areas where you think you are not good at. First, cover those. Now, your my exam performance report will indicate you your weak areas. You just focus on those areas first in the using the recorded content. Okay, so conceptual videos are there, practice based videos are there, compile notes you will get. You will also get certain important documents for theory drafting, and $1 million cheat sheets are available that will help you in your examination. Other than that, the live area, today is a live class that you are with me and I'm conducting. Tomorrow not tomorrow, day after tomorrow we'll have another live class. Tomorrow we have live class on 14th. Then the March 26 webinars I will ask you to watch on 15th and 16th of May. Then we'll have a live revision on 19th of May. And then the next day we have our mock, the final mock of FM, followed by a debrief, that is again a live debrief on 23rd. Then we'll be giving you complimentary mock and the complimentary debrief. So again, that is all what is important from exam perspective. You need to keep this in your mind, that this revision camp not only provides you opportunity to take the live revisions, the live mocks and debriefs. On top of it, you get very important top 25 to 30 areas recorded content with practice that you can focus and increase your chances of passing. So if you are interested, you can contact the admission department at this below number you can see here, or you can directly visit our website as well, www.vifhe.com. If you go to this website, you can definitely find things yourself. You can quickly go to the selected course and you can just make the payment, get into the batch. You will get the access automatically. But if you are not being able to do it for some reason, you may contact the admission department at this number and they will be happy to assist you. So I hope this is clear to all of you. Now, moving forward, and one last thing, the regular students, the research students who are already part of my regular research batch, for them there is no need for this revision camp joining, just because they have everything already available and they just have to follow the plans that I've given them. Now, scope of the webinar, as always, remains the same. 20% knowledge based, 80% will be practice based. So I'll be giving you a recap of certain areas and then we will start directly the practice thing. The focus again on webinar, I'll try my best to have a focus on all the three areas of examination, C, B, and A. Yes, ACCA platform, wherever needed, will be using. I will be focusing on drafting as well whenever required. Okay. All right. Now, important thing that I want you to understand, if you are new to these webinars or the way I teach, my focus has always been on smarter way to pass the examination. And I call this as smart paper solving technique. Yes, it is important to cover the syllabus. It is important to cover the syllabus, but at the same time, you need to be very vigilant on the day of examination. You can pass, you need to target first 50 marks. To target first 50 marks, to target first 50 marks, you need to find those first 50 marks. Now, how you'll find those first 50 marks, this is very important. So, remember, as I said earlier, section A, B, C, all these three sections do have easy numbers available. Okay. Now, I will suggest you to watch my smart paper solving technique video available on VIFHE's YouTube channel. If you haven't seen, this is the link. Go and watch this video to find out the easy way of passing the exam. The easy way of passing the exam. Okay. So, this will definitely help you. On top of it, there is another very important video by the name of examinable verb. This is also another video that I have, examinable verb. You can go to our YouTube channel again and watch this video, because this will give you clarity about the different verbs being tested in the paper, like what is evaluate, what is assess, what is discuss, what is the difference between all these verbs, because for CRQs, these verbs do matter. Then I personally want you to also uh, watch this video by the name of Read the Marker's Mind. This is for FM paper. The link is available here. This will also be very useful for CRQs. This will give you lot more clarity as to how to handle CRQs, what needs to be done, what not, uh, what you have to write to get the marks, because this video gives everybody so much of confidence that they can do it. I definitely want everybody to watch this, because as a layman, one can understand that what marking scheme is about, and if the student whose marking is discussed in this video, if they can do it, why can't you do it? Okay. Then comes a very latest video that I have made it available on VIFHE's YouTube channel, is by the name of My Exam Performance Report video. This is a video for those who did not pass and they want to understand why they failed. Now, this is very crucial, because this video will teach them how to understand what are your weaker areas. Generally, you guys do one thing: you send your My Exam Performance Report to the tutor. Okay. It's good, but why send to tutor if you can do this on your own? So just watch this video, figure out what went wrong, which areas you are weak at, and then if you join my revision camp, or if you are doing self-study, whatever you are doing, you focus on those weaker areas first. You spend time on those weaker areas first. All right. So I hope this is clear. Uh, Remember, no question spotting. Ideally, uh, do not skip anything. Study Hub. If you are a self-study student, then Study Hub is what you can use. If you are part of my paid batch, notes will be enough for you. At least these are the important topics that I want you to read at least before the examination. So I just want to mark those areas, especially for section A. You should cover these, because these will be useful from your exam perspective, and this is where students do struggle in theory as well. Okay. So these are the areas that I feel people should read at least to be able to solve CRQs in a much easier and better way. However, the more you read, the better it is. Okay. But just in case, if you are short of time for section A, at least go through these. All right, clear everyone? So I hope this is visible to all of you. Okay, this is the study hub content index page that I've used here. Done. All right. Now today's topic includes investment appraisal, risk management, and working capital. We'll try to cover things maximum. Let's see how much we can. I think it's all set now, guys. Please respond. Everything okay? Should we start? Everyone ready? Confirm. Now let's begin with asset replacement decision. Now, what is asset replacement decision? This is part of investment appraisal. In investment appraisal, this is one of the key areas of your examination where you have to use NPV. Let's recap what is asset replacement decision. See, there are organizations that use and buy assets. There are very simple cases where company gives the company provides cars to its employees, and when company provide cars to an employees, they do offer them cars maybe for 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, 12 years. So there is a very important decision that they have to take, and that is the replacement policy. Replacement policy. Now, what is a replacement policy? So replacement policy is, should they replace the cars in every 2 years? Should they replace the car in every 3 years? Should they replace the car in every 4 years? So what should be the basic replacement cycle that they should follow? So it is very important that the right replacement cycle is key. Now, you should replace the car in every 2 years, every 3 years, every 4 years, every 5 years, every 6 years. What is the best policy? Generally, from a layman perspective, if I ask you, so if I ask you, just tell me, replacing in every 2 years is much better compared to replacing in every 5 years. What do you think? Which replacement cycle is better? 2 years, 3 years? Okay. So now every 2 years cost would be more or less compared to every 5 years. Generally, one would say that, okay, 2 years cost would be less, 5 year cost would be more. No, it depends. It depends. So this decision, this decision is asset replacement decision. In this decision, you will learn to decide what what is the best replacement cycle. Is it every 2, 3, 4, 5 years? Okay, what is the best replacement cycle that you have to follow? 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? And how will you do? You need to ensure like with like comparison. Remember, comparing a 2 years replacement cycle with a 5 years replacement cycle will not be like with like. Comparing 3 years replacement cycle with 4 year replacement cycle will not be like with like. So to ensure like with like comparison, we are using technique of equivalent annual cost. Okay. So to decide which is the best replacement cycle, what are we required to do? We'll calculate the NPV of each replacement cycle. We'll work out equivalent annual cost, and based on equivalent annual cost, we will decide which replacement cycle is best based on lowest EAC. Okay. Now, which cash flows are important in this decision? Just imagine you have a car and you are planning to replace in 2 years versus you are planning to replace in every 5 years. So what are the regular costs that you bear? Number one is maintenance cost. So maintenance cost of the car should increase or decrease with the increase in lifespan. It will increase. The more you keep the car, the more will be the maintenance cost, because there will be more wear and tear. Very nice. Number two, scrap value. If you sell the car in every 2 years versus if you sell the car in every 5 years, what do you expect? Which replacement will provide you a higher value, a higher scrap value? 2 years, obviously, because the car would be very much like a new car compared to a car that you've used for 5 years. So these are the cash flows to consider, like maintenance cost to consider, like the scrap values to consider, and based on these, we will work out the NPV. NPV. Okay. So the equivalent annual cost is what? Cost of owning and operating an asset per year. Per year. Okay. So the formula is present value of cost divided by annuity factor. Present value of cost divided by annuity factor. Okay. I hope this is clear to all of you. And there are certain assumptions we take in the calculations of EAC, like all the machines have same operational efficiency in terms of their operations. Every machine has the same operational efficiency. The revenues, the inflows that we earn from these are same. That is why we don't consider them as relevant. Yes, it ignores the aspect of pollution and safety relating to old assets. It ignores non-financial asset aspects. Plus, it assumes, which is very, I think, difficult assumption, that replacement every time is like with like. Now, this is not the case in automobile industry anymore. For example, a car that you have right now, after 3 years, if you replace that with another car of the same brand, the model will change. And when the model changes, the car efficiency, the technology used in the car, everything changes a lot. Okay, but it says the replacement is always like with like, which may not be the case. Okay. All right. So I hope this is clear to all of you. One last thing. This EAC could also be EAB, equivalent annual benefit. It could also be equivalent annual benefit. Now, if it is equivalent annual benefit, then the problem is, if it is equivalent annual benefit, the problem is to decide how to take a decision. Now, in that case, because it is a benefit, so rather than going with lowest, we'll go with highest. Highest. Okay? Highest. Done. Restriction on funds, known as capital rationing. Now, when there is a restriction on the organization, in relation to funds. This will restrict their ability to invest in positive NPV projects. Okay? Because if you won't have funds, or if you have limited funds, you may not be able to invest in all the projects. Okay? So such restriction will affect the wealth of shareholders. Such restriction will affect the company's ability to maximize the wealth of shareholders. The question is, why there is restriction? Why there is a restriction on funds? So there are two reasons. One, hard capital rationing. Two, soft capital rationing. Now, what is hard rationing? Restriction on funds is placed by external factors. External factors. Like a bank refusing to provide you funds. Why? Because bank thinks that your trading history is not good. Okay? Or the equity investor refuses to provide you further finance. Okay, might be due to economic recession, right? Due to highly geared company. So the external people are refusing. You want funds, but they are not providing. On the other hand, soft rationing is a situation where external stakeholders, external parties are willing to provide you finance, but you don't need them. You don't want them. You have placed your own restrictions on funds. And this is when you need to invest in best projects only. So you want to create internal competition. Number two, you want to protect your equity investors so that their shareholding doesn't get diluted. Or you deliberately want to avoid future interest payments because you think that the time period ahead is not good and you may not be able to bear the new interest cost. So you put restriction yourself. Got it? Got it. Now, what is the solution to this rationing? Before deciding the solution, it is important for us to look, is the project divisible or indivisible? Now, what is a divisible project, guys? Can you quickly recall? A project that doesn't require 100% investment. You can partially invest in this project. You can partially make the investment. You can be a partner in this project. Divisible project. But any project that requires 100% investment, no partnerships are known as indivisible project. So it is the project divisibility or indivisibility that will decide which method to use. So profitability index is used for projects that are divisible. Trial and error method is used for projects that are indivisible. So the steps include, very simple, calculate profitability index of each project. On the basis of PI, rank each project. On the basis of ranking, allocate the funds. PI, NPV divided by investment. But if the projects are indivisible, make combinations. Which combinations? Make combinations. What sort of combinations? NPV combinations. And then opt for highest NPV combination. A combination that provides you highest NPV. And here, if there are any unused funds, if there are any unused funds here, so we assume that to be invested at cost of capital. Okay, done. It's now time for our first question, and with certain very valuable tips and tricks, we will start this question. The tips include for CRQs, find verbs and objects. Evaluate, assess, discuss, describe verbs. And for that, mind you, you should know the meaning of those verbs, okay? Then objects, element. What exactly you need to answer. Explain advantages. So advantage is the object. Explain is the verb. Discuss difficulties. Discuss is the verb, difficulty is the object. So element is very important. This will set the direction that what you have to answer. Okay? And do look for extra requirement, and who will help you to find out is the word and. In one CRQ requirement, they may ask you 2 things, 3 things, and the word and is very important here. Okay? Because your marks are available considering the requirements, considering the objects you have. Okay? For theory, use multiple paragraphs, use headings if possible. Generally, what I say, your objects could be used as your headings. If there are 2 things that they have asked you to answer, like discuss the advantages and alternatives. So advantage is one heading and alternative is second heading. Or a question is discuss the nature of capital rationing and reasons of rationing. So first is the nature of rationing that you have to answer, and then reason for rationing that you have to answer. In reason, you can make headings of soft and hard rationing as well. So a good use of headings will help you to plan the answer properly. Use spreadsheet to your advantage. For this paper, it is very crucial that you use spreadsheet to your advantage. Spreadsheet is a source of competitive advantage for you. It saves your time. And the way I covered spreadsheets in FM, I've explained a lot of times. Let's see. One cell, one formula, you complete that 1 year working, you copy paste for year 2, 3 and 4, you will get the answers. That's all smart working. Okay. Then available time for each CRQ, remember, is 36 minutes. So a very simple tip is, if there are 2 questions of CRQ, start with easy CRQ first. The one that you think is the most easiest one. Now, let's assume that one CRQ is from working capital and one is from investment appraisal, and you are very confident with investment appraisal. Start with that CRQ first. Because if you start with your strength, I repeat, if you start with your strength, you save time, you have more confidence, and try to solve that within 36 minutes, maybe in 34, 33, 32 or 31 minutes, within 30 minutes, maybe. And you can just give that extra time to other products or other questions. Okay? Remember, to pass in section C of the paper, you need minimum 20 marks out of 40. To pass in one CRQ question, you need 10 marks out of 20 marks. So 10 marks is what you have to grab minimum in one CR. And I just want you to focus on one thing. And that is, your objective should be that the first CRQ you opt for, try to grab minimum 10 marks. Pass in that CRQ. The other you start, pass in that CRQ. Then you are solving section B, pass in every section B case study. If it is for 10 marks, try to grab 6 marks. Every case study you have to grab 6 marks. In section A, 15 OTs, that is for 30 marks, make sure you grab 16 marks in section A, which means 8 OTs you should ensure should be correct for you. 8. So what exactly the logic is? Everything you attempt, you try to pass in that. Every section of the paper you have to ensure you pass. Section A, minimum 50% marks. B, minimum 50. C, minimum 50. At least you get 50 out of 100. I hope you are with me. Yes or no? If you are, then please follow the instructions. Let's keep this in our mind and let's move towards our first question for today. Here you go. The first question for today is in front of us. Let's start with our first CRQ. The rule is very simple. And what is the rule? The rule is, my friends, every CRQ you will attempt, first you will read the requirements and you will highlight verbs and objects. So for every CRQ, 2 things you have to focus on. What? For every CRQ, how many things? Say with me, 2 things that you have to focus on. Number 1, the verbs and the objects. Say with me, verbs and the objects. Say with me. And second, is the question knowledge based or application based? Knowledge based or application based? So let me do some rehearsals with you people. Calculate equivalent annual cost. So the examinable verb here is calculate. Okay, calculate is the verb. What to calculate? Equivalent annual cost. EAC. Calculate EAC. Okay. So this is your object element. Calculate equivalent annual cost of the 3-year. Now the word and is here. Now what this and says, another object, another requirement, that is 4-year replacement cycle also you have to work out. So 3 years replacement cycle and then 4 years replacement cycle. Done for the 2 machines. Then another and. Oh, another and. Advise. Another verb. Advise. Whether company should advise which machine to purchase. Which machine to purchase. Do you guys understood? Verbs and objects. Now, is this question knowledge based or application based? So see, Any question that is asking you to do something using the scenario, that is asking you to use the scenario, is application based. So here it says for G company, it is application based. Okay, done. Discuss. Okay, what to discuss? Why replacement intervals decision should be based on EAC. The object is why. Why replacement interval decision should be based on EAC. They are asking you the reason why to use EAC and not NPV. Okay. So what is the element? Why EAC? Why not NPV? You have to discuss. So the verb is discuss. Okay. Last. Explain. Now you guys find out verbs and objects. Just read it please for me and find out verbs and objects. Okay. Explain is the verb. Possible reasons for capital rationing experienced by G company. Okay. So this is the verb explain, reasons for G-co. G-co word means what? Knowledge based, application based. Application based. Yaar, say something, yaar. I don't like teaching like this. Say something. Then there is a word and. Another verb suggest. Suggest. What? 3 ways. This is the object. 3 ways it may overcome. 3 ways, 6 marks. So look at the verbs and the objects. Look at knowledge application based and also consider marks. Marks are important. Okay? We'll come back to these again. It's now time to read the scenario. G company is a small company, recently incorporated entity that is finding it difficult to raise funds. So they don't have funds. And see, difficult to raise funds. The word is, now because you went through the requirement of capital rationing, you know that rationing is here. Difficult to raise funds. Okay. To replace a machine that is essential to its production process, the company has identified 2 machines of identical capacity, but the different technology would be suitable. But different technology which would be suitable. Okay. Only one machine could be purchased in a mutually exclusive investment decision. Now, mutually exclusive means out of the 2, you will buy one. Out of the 2, you can only buy one. Okay. Machine 1. The cost is 100,000. Any type of, any sort of numbers, percentages, you should highlight. The cost is 100,000. Would need replacing after 3 years. The residual value is 100,000. Annual operating costs expected to be $150,000 in the first year of operation. would increase by 5% per year in each subsequent year. Read, yaar, read. The problem is of reading. You guys don't read it. Please read. Maintenance cost is 32,000 per year in the first year of operation, increasing by 4% per year in subsequent years. Subsequent years. Got it, everyone? Okay. Machine 2. The machine would cost 1250 and would need replacing after 4 years. So this as a 4-year replacement cycle, and a residual value of 150. Annual operating cost is expected to be 125,000 in the first year of operation and will increase by 6% per year in the subsequent years. Okay. Maintenance costs are forecast to be 42,000 per year in the first year of operation. Increasing by 4% in subsequent years. The discount rate is 12%. So I've highlighted everything now. The details are clear. It's now time to move towards the solution. Okay. Let's begin. Requirement 1. Calculate EAC of 3 and 4 years replacement cycle. So guys, let's begin with part A. First, let's work out machine 1 NPV. What is the lifespan of machine 1? The lifespan of machine 1 is 3 years. Okay. What are the important cash flows that we have to use? Any idea? So the cash flows that we have to use here includes very simple, and those are investment, okay, and residual value, yes, and what else? Maintenance cost, yes, okay. So let's consider all these one by one. I hope you all are listening me. First of all, investment. In year 0, $1 million. Do we have any scrap here? Okay, I'll write here. Maintenance cost. How much is the maintenance? It says in the first year it's 150,000, okay, which will increase by 5% in year 2. which will further increase by 5% in year 3. Done? Okay. Anything else? Yes. Residual value. Machine 1 residual value is 100,000 in the last year. It's a positive value, okay? That's it. Net cash flows. Control C, copy. And Control V. Okay, I just missed out one thing. Sorry. I'll bring this here. There are two things. One is annual operating cost and second is maintenance cost. So I just covered the annual operating cost. Maintenance is also here. Okay, maintenance cost is 32,000 in the first year, increasing by 4%. Are you with me, everyone? Done. All right, now net cash flows. Control C, we. And then the NPV. Either you can work out using the NPV function or here by using discount factors. 1 divided by, what is the cost of capital given in the question? 12% is the discount rate. Okay. Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V. You can see the discount rate is correctly calculated. 1 divided by 1.14 to the power 3. Okay. Same for year 1 and 2. Now, the present value. Control C, we have multiplied these with the discount factors. And the NPV is here. Okay, everyone. Now let's do something here. Let's select all the numbers and let's use this option 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th option. So everything will be in brackets plus you will be able to round off as well. Okay, done. So it's 1385757. Are you with me, everyone? Operating cost is given to us here. It's 150,000 in the first year of operation. So I just took 150 directly and 5% you had to increase in the subsequent years. Similarly, there was a maintenance cost of 32,000 as well in the first year. And I took 32,000 in the first year and then 4% we just increased it in year 2 and 3. So I hope this calculation of machine 1 having a 3-year replacement cycle is pretty much clear to all of you. Say yes or no. Any questions? As far as this is concerned, yes or no? Okay. Now, what I can do, I can save my time. How? Because I need to work out for the other machine and almost all the cash flows are similar, like the investment, the residual value, the operating cost, maintenance cost, everything is same. So I'll copy and will paste here. Wow. I hope I'm able to copy and paste. Copy done. Air 4. Just make the changes. Machine 2 and BV. Just change the numbers. Operating costs, you need to change here. Operating cost is same for machine 2. Sorry, no, it's not same. 125,000. And make sure you change the percentage here. The percentage is 6% now, not 5. Copy, paste. Done. Okay, and don't forget you have 4 years now. So you'll add one more year here. See, it saves your time if you are clear what you're doing. So one more year added, the figure of operating cost changed and the percentage of increase also changed. Done. Maintenance cost, first year, 42,000. Okay. The percentage is 4%. So no change required in terms of percentage. I just changed the figure. Percentage is same. The answer is same. For year 2, for year 3, I just have to add for year 4. Alas. That's it. That's it. This is inflation, bhai. What I'm increasing is because of inflation. Okay? Nobody has to be confused about it. You just have to read English, that's it. And English says, first year, this is the figure. So just take it as it is. From next year, subsequent means next year. Just increase from the next year. That's it, khalas. Nothing to be confused about. Residual value, you will remove from here, obviously, and will take into the last year, 150,000. Okay? Okay. Now, what formula is used here? It's the correct one. Just add one more year. Alright? Just add one more year discount rate. Hi. So simple. Discount rate doesn't change. Year 4 power will be used for year 4 discount factor. Copy, Control C, paste. Hi. Excellent, boy, excellent. Change the formula of present value. Classical, yeah. Lovely. Lovely way of solving it. Classical time saving way. Alas. Come on, any questions? Say something, yaar. Any questions? I don't think so. Okay? Clear? Now, step 1 is to calculate NPV. I've done that. Step 1 is to calculate NPV. Now, step 2. NPV of machine 1. Here it is. NPV of machine 2. Here it is. Lovely, excellent, beautiful, time saving. Annuity factor. Annuity factor. Okay? Annuity factor. A very simple way to determine annuity factor, should I tell you? If you don't know the formula as well. You can use annuity table, you can use annuity formula. You can do a very simple way, and that is what? Sum of single discount factors. Sum of single discount factors. Khalas. Will give you annuity factor. So for the first project, add all. Add all. Okay? Let's add. Done. Add all. For second one, add all. Single discount factors of all the years. Just add them. That's it. Just add them. That's it. Is it correct or not? Is it correct or not? No. No. Why? Sir, you said add all the single discount factors. Yes, we have to add it. But I just want to check you people. See, we will not consider year 1. We will not consider year 1. Okay? Will not consider year 1. Because year 1 discount factor is 1. We don't discount in year 1. So we will take discount factors. Because in year 1 we don't discount it. So we leave year 0. Year 0, yes, year 0. We don't take year 0. In year 0 we don't discount it. Year 0 has no discounting. That is why the factor is 1. So we remove year 0. We remove year 0. Sum of all the years discount factor. In year 0 we don't discount it. Yes. Was just checking you, what will you say? So here 0 discount factor of 1 is not taken into account. Okay? Clear? EAC. This divided by this. Ignore the negative signs, okay? This divided by this. Now, which cost is more? 577 or 560? 577 is more. So what is the answer? The answer is machine 1 or 2. The answer is machine 2. You are required to advise. So see, giving this advice will give you easy numbers, will give you easy marks. Easy marks. So let's advise here. The 4-year replacement cycle is more beneficial for the company as the equivalent annual cost of 4 years replacement is lower than 3 years replacement cycle. Now, generally, people say that 3-year life means less cost, 4-year life means more cost. Okay? 4-year more cost. But here you can see the 4-year replacement cycle has a lower cost. It's the average cost of owning and operating the asset. Hence, machine 2 is feasible. Alas. Done. Are you with me, everyone? Clear? So, say something, yaar. So, easy 1 mark for the advice. Why lose it? Why lose it? Done. So guys, this is the first part where you had to work out equivalent annual cost, and that you have done. I hope no problems as far as this is concerned, okay? All right. Done, everyone? Okay, now, so this is the answer. We have seen here the calculation. Now, let's move towards the next requirement. 4 marks theory based requirement, 4 marks. Okay. Now, what is the verb and what is the object? The first question. Is it knowledge based? Is it application based? Can you guys quickly tell me, please? So, see, the verb is discuss. What to discuss is why. Why? 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 Why the decisions are based on EAC versus NPV. 4 marks. Is it knowledge based or application based? So the question type is knowledge based. Okay. 4 marks. It's a knowledge based question. So what to write? Why we take decisions on EAC and why not on NPV? Any answer? Yes, please. Okay. You think about it. We'll take a short break. After the break, we'll come back. We'll solve this one, the next one, and further we'll move. Okay? Think what you need to write. We'll take a 10 minutes break and be back after the break. Okay, welcome back. Now the verb is discuss, and this is for 4 marks. Why we use EAC rather than NPV for such a decisions. Okay. Now first of all, I'll start with NPV. Net present value is used in simple situations. What is simple situation? For example, when you are choosing between one of projects with different lives. Now the lives are different. Like one project has a life of 2 years versus one project having a life of 4 years. But the main thing is those are one-off, one-time investments. One-time investments. Okay? So in that case, we use NPV because what NPV does? NPV covers the cost and benefits, okay, of those projects over its life. Okay. Now, where the complication increases? When the case of one-off is removed. What is the case of one-off removed? When this asset will be needed again and again. Again and again. It's not a one-off project. So when the projects have different lives, fine. like machine 1, machine 2. But we need them in future, and we need to replace them, and they are endlessly repeated. It's not one off. Okay, so it's an infinite channel of identical projects. So when the projects with different lives can endlessly repeated again and again, you need to repeat them. That is where NPV will not be workable. That is where NPV is not workable. Are you with me? Yes or no? That is where NPV is not workable. Right? So the problem is endlessly repeating. Okay? So now, however, when the projects with different lives are repeated endlessly. Are you with me? Then NPV is not useful. Okay? Then NPV is not useful. Rather, NPV earned by the project relates to period of time. Okay? So it is just related to that period of time. Done? Are you with me? So here, every replacement cycle is a project. Every replacement cycle is a project now. Okay, like 3-year replacement cycle is a project, 4-year replacement cycle is a project. Are you with me? So here, every replacement cycle is a project, and to allow different lengths of replacement cycles, NPV is divided by annuity factor. Okay, based on their lives to calculate equivalent annual cost. See, the problem is the repetition of that interval again and again. One project has a life of 3 years, one has a life of 4 years, and the constant repetition going on is what you have to consider, is what we cannot consider using NPV. So we need to bring them like with like. Okay? So EAC represents the cost of owning and operating the asset each year, making it like with like comparison between the different lives projects. Are you with me? Yes or no? Hence, replacement cycle with lowest EAC is selected. Done. So this is what is the difference. This is why we use EAC, because NPV is used in simple situations where it's a one-off situation. It is not endlessly repeated. But when these are endlessly repeated, so in that case, every replacement cycle becomes a project. Okay? And in order for us to consider the replacement interval and the length of interval, replacement intervals and the length of intervals, we need to use EAC. Because EAC calculation allows to consider the present value, cost of replacement interval and the length of intervals. Okay? Done. So I hope no problem, everyone. Is this clear? So in the marking scheme, you will get marks to explain NPV first, when it is useful, then what are the replacement cycles and why EAC is important. Okay? Because of the replacement cycles, NPV is not useful and you need to have EAC that will ensure the usability. Done. Drafting has to be done in form of paragraphs, multiple paragraphs you can use. This is a knowledge-based question. I hope this is clear to all of you. Done, everyone? Next. Explain is the verb. What to explain? The object. The object is reasons. Okay? For capital explaining. Then another verb, suggest. What to suggest? 3 ways to deal. Okay. 2 verbs, 2 objects. Is this knowledge based or application based? So the question type is application based. Now, can you tell me which, can you explain me the reason for capital rationing that the company is experiencing? Is it hard rationing or soft rationing? And this is scenario based, okay? Application based question. Is it hard rationing or soft rationing? And we have to tell the reasons why they are facing this rationing. Why they are facing this rationing. Hard rationing. Okay. And why are they facing hard rationing? Now, you cannot say the common factors that you have learned, like economic recession, gearing is high. No. You have to find out scenario based reasons. Scenario based reasons. So, let me just write few lines. You think about the reasons for this rationing. G company is facing hard capital rationing, okay, which is very common for a small business like GCO. Where the word small came from? Scenario. In application based scenario, it is a small, very recent incorporated entity, which means it's a small company. It's an SME, and SME does faces the problem. You know what we call this as? A funding gap. Just repeat what we say: funding gap. Okay, funding gap. So they are not being able to raise debt finance or equity finance because they are considered risky. Okay, risky. So reasons, tell the reasons. Okay, so company like G company is recently incorporated small company is finding difficult to raise debt finance and equity finance due to being more risky business. Okay. Also, the company might not have sufficient assets to use as security to raise debt finance. They might not have the assets to use them as a security to raise finance. Yes or no? Okay. Are you with me? Okay. I just wanted to add here, they are considered as a risky business. Why? Because it's a newly in corporate organization as it might not have proper track records and good business history. That's why they would consider them to be a very risky business. Okay? Are you with me? So these could be the reasons of not being able to raise finance. Now, one thing I want to mention in front of all of you. If you think the answer to this was just mentioning the word hard capital rationing is not enough, you won't get marks. People in this question did a mistake by just writing hard capital rationing. They won't get marks. You need to understand the question. The question is, again, understand what they are asking. They are asking you what? Please, possible reasons for capital rationing experienced by the company. So it's a hard rationing, and the reason for not being able to raise finance is not economic downturn. It's not high gearing here for now. The reason is SME. The reason is small business. The reason is recently incorporated. The reason is more risky company. The reason is lack of assets to keep as security because it's a small company. These are the reasons. Anybody writing straightforward, hard rationing, why very easy question. No, bacha, no. You won't be able to. Bacha means kid, okay? No, bacha, no. Understood? Say something, yaar. Now to grab 6 marks, writing this is not enough. So what else you need, bhai? Bhai means brother, okay? Ways. Following are the ways to overcome this situation. Now guys, what are the ways? What are the ways? Again, don't say profitability index method. Don't say trial and error, please. You have to come up with the ways that an SME can use to remove funding gap. What ways SME can use to remove funding gap? What are the sources of finance available to an SME? So many options. Government grants, business angels, venture capital. What else? Joint ventures, crowdfunding. Just 3 we needed. Just 3. Khalas. Okay? So we can mention G company might be entitled to government grants from okay, which government may provide to specific business area, right? To promote business in certain region. Maybe. What else? G company can use, can take finance from business angels who are wealthy individuals, okay, who invest directly in small companies in return expecting higher return against higher risk. Khalas. What else? Yeah, crowdfunding. G company can use crowdfunding in which investors provide finance to small business via internet based platforms directly. Okay, done. So, three ways to overcome. I've mentioned here. See how important is to understand the object. People might take it completely wrong here. They think we'll write about hard capital rationing and the ways to overcome would be profitability index, trial and error method. The requirement is very important to understand, and that is why things that I'm asking you at the start is important. Explain what you have to explain, which reason. Then suggest ways for what to overcome those problems, overcome those reasons. And application means we have to use scenario. We have to use G company. It's a small business. It's an small enterprise, recently incorporated company. Okay, so scenario based information. Use the scenario. Khalas, 6 marks. Are you with me? It is always wise to have a simple marks breakup. Now, if there are two objects, generally 3 marks for first, 3 marks for the other. Like 3 marks for the reasons, 3 marks how to overcome it. Generally. So the plan is what? Look at the Number one, verbs and objects. Number two, application or knowledge based. Number three, marks. Number four, headings according to the objects. If not headings, write according to the objects and split the marks accordingly. Understood how to write the answer? Say yes or no. The previous was knowledge based. This is application based. Clear? Happy everyone? Done. All this is not needed in the final answer, okay? This is just for your clarity purpose. What all you have to write is in form of paragraphs properly. Alas. Done. Done. Now, done with this, it's now time to move towards the next one. Risk management. Currency risk. Why it is an application based? Because we have to use G company as an example now. We did use the information that G company is a small business. It is not being able to raise the funds. So all this information is of G company, brother, understood? Okay. Hira Ajmal, you can WhatsApp me, I'll explain you, okay? Now, risk management. Organization face risk in form of currency devaluation, okay, and interest rate increasing. Now, any company that deals with imports and exports will face such problems, will face such risk, right? So there are three risks to consider: transaction, economic, translation. Transaction risk is a one which results because of delay in payments. You buy today, you have to make payment in 3 months' time, and obviously it's an international business going on. It's an import or export business, right? So because of such delay, the adverse movement in exchange rate in case of payment will increase the payment. In case of receipts, will reduce the receipts, and this is transaction risk. Economic risk is a longer term version of transaction risk. Longer term version of transaction risk, which impacts the business long term value, which impact the shareholders long term value. And I always say, if you are into an import business and every time you buy something from outside world, which means outside the country, the cost keeps on increasing. The cost of imports keeps on increasing. And if cost of imports keeps on increasing, your product, the imported product in the domestic market, in the local market, will keep on rising against the local competitors. Against the local competitors, and you will not be able to beat the competition because your product will always be expensive than the local products. And this will affect the long run of the business. Economic risk. Translation risk is an accounting risk. results because of asset liabilities that are affected because of the revaluation done because of exchange fluctuations. So because a parent would work out the value of its subsidiary assets and liabilities, its investment done in other countries at the end of the year, because of the exchange rate differentials, the effect on their assets and liabilities results in a translation risk, which is an accounting risk. It relates to unrealized losses. Okay. So here the transaction risk is the most important one. And to deal with transaction risk, we need to learn how to protect ourselves, how to hedge ourselves. For that, it is important to determine certain terms like what is a direct quote, what is an indirect quote. The way I teach my students, it simply becomes peanuts. Now, your exchange rate is either given in form of a direct quote or an indirect quote. So whenever it is in form of indirect quote, remember foreign currency will be in numerator, local will be in denominator. And in case of direct quote, local will be in numerator, foreign will be in denominator. Okay. Spot rate is the current rate, current exchange rate. You will have higher rates and lower rates both, on the basis of which buying and selling is done. Okay. Now, how to hedge against transaction risk? There are certain internal techniques known as you just deal in your home currency, no exchange impact on you. Whatever will be transferred to the other party. Leading means making the payment early before the due time or receive the payment early before the due time. Lagging is opposite. Delay the payment more than the due time or receive it more than the due time. Because you feel like at that due time, the exchange rate movement will be very adverse for you. That can affect your cash flows. Matching means foreign receipts, foreign payments to be held at the same time should be matched together for internally should be matched together in order to reduce the impact. Okay. Whereas netting is well done in case of parent subsidiary expecting receivables and payables from each other, they can net off those. Now, external techniques include forward exchange contract. You lock into a rate today, and after 3 months or 5 months, whatever the actual rate will be, you will not be concerned about it. Whatever rate that has been locked today, your transaction will be conducted at that rate. Option 2, money market hedging, where the objective is to convert at spot. Spot. Okay. Done. Then you have derivatives. like currency options, currency futures, currency swaps. In currency options, you are not locked into a contract. It's up to you whether you have to opt for the derivative, you want to exercise the derivative, or you want to allow it to lapse. So option gives you the flexibility, but it is expensive because you have to pay the premium. Currency futures will lock you into a contract. You cannot run away. If you will buy, you have to sell it. If you already sold it, you have to buy it. So it provides you a protection against the actual market, adverse movements. Currency swap again locks you into a rate, and this is used for long-term hedging. When you need one currency, the other needs the other currency that is your currency, you and that person agrees to exchange certain amount of currency at a certain rate every time. By the way, there are intermediators who find these people, and this result in a contract. Okay. Okay, OS, just DM me regarding this and send me the screenshot as well. Okay, done. So the question is, why does exchange rate fluctuates? Because of balance of payment, because of current account deficit, because of capital accounts. So if your current and capital accounts are in a bad shape, that may result in exchange rate fluctuation or devaluation mainly. Okay, so there are certain theories known as four-way equivalence theory. These are a one that basically will affect your exchange rate. Like according to interest rate theory, the interest rate differential can affect forward rate. According to purchase power parity theory, the inflation rate differential can affect the exchange rate. According to Fisher effect, it is the inflation rate that results in a change in nominal interest rates, whereas real rates remains the same. And once the nominal rates of interest change, it affects the exchange rates according to International Fisher effect. Expectation theory says both forward rate and future spot rate will become same at a certain time. Okay, and these all are reflected in a four-way equivalence theory, which means any change in interest rate, the impact of this will exactly be on the exchange rate. Any change in inflation rate, the impact of this will exactly be on exchange rate. Okay, so now let's move towards section B question. Are you ready, everyone? Okay, let's have a look. What are the tips and tricks to follow in section B questions? Actively read the scenario. Now, why is this mentioned here? Because in section B, scenarios are connected with the questions, or I would say questions are connected with the scenarios. Okay? So it is very important that we do understand the scenario. Plus, any rounding off instructions need to be followed for fill in the blank questions, because otherwise you might lose easy marks. And then some important techniques. Start with easy MTQ first. Now, one is of risk management, one is of business valuation, one is of working capital. So you start with the one in which you are more confident, because you can skim the questions very easily. So if you start with the easy MTQ, you will be able to complete before 18 minutes. And this will be useful as you can spend more time on the difficult ones. Okay, so the MTQ that you have decided that you will start first with, in that MCQ, there are 5 questions, and in those 5 questions, there will be easy questions, OTs to solve. So solve the easy ones first in that. Solve the easy ones first in that. Not all 5 will be difficult, and there is no dependency on the answers of each other. Remember, if you solve the easy OTs first, you can grab quick marks with no time. Like 2 questions are easy out of 5, 4 marks are in your pocket. You just need to ensure one more gets corrected. You will get 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. So if you get 6 out of 10 in each question of MTQ, in each, so at the end of the day, in all the 3, you will be able to get 18 out of 30 and you will pass section B. You will pass section B. And if you pass section B, khalas, done. Section B, passing section B means what? You are safe in terms of section B. Okay? Clear? Done? Done. Now, as I said earlier, that target should be to focus on easy OTs first. So make sure you do this, please. Make sure you do this. Make sure you focus on easy OTs. All right? Okay, so let's begin with the question. Are you ready, everyone? Okay. Here you go. In MTQ section B question, it is very important to read the scenario properly before we start. Right? So let's do it. Now, the first question, which of the following currency risk is B company exposed to now and in future? Now and in future. So let's have a look. This is application based question, a best example of application based question. Okay, so read the scenario. Scenario will help you to find out the answer. First, transaction risk. Yes, They export products to Europe. They are exporting to Europe. They get payment in credit. Yes, they are exposed to transaction risk. Entering into the contract, settling it. This is transaction risk, yeah. Similarly, the interest payments that they pay is again transaction risk. So they are facing transaction risk for sure. Done. Translation risk, I'll come back to this later on. Economic risk. Because they are exporting products to Europe for several years. So they are in Europe for several years. And you know, economic risk is a longer term version of transaction risk. So they are exposed to this risk since so many years. Since so many years. And it will affect their cash flows. It will affect shareholder wealth in the long run if it is continuously affecting their business. So yeah, they are exposed to economic risk. You know, economic risk is longer term version of transaction risk, and because they're operating since so many years, so they are continuously subject to this risk, and in long run it may affect their business cash flows. So yes, subject to economic risk. See, application based. Learn it, yaar. Third, translation risk. Yes, they have made, oh sorry, they haven't made, they are planning to invest in European storage, packaging and distribution network, which means they are planning to invest, making investment there. So if they are investing in European market, this will give rise to translation risk, because they, at the end of the year, when they consolidate their numbers together, so their investment in the European market will be shown as an asset in their books. So they will revalue at the year end, keeping in mind the exchange rate at that point. So such conversion into the local currency may give rise to translation risk. Their investment will give rise to translation risk. Even though it is unrealized, but it is an accounting risk that they are facing because they made an investment. So that is something that will give rise to translation risk. All the three are what they are subject to. Scenario like products, export, transaction, investment in European country, translation, operating since several years doing this business, plus they even took a loan. Yes, they even took a loan in the European market. So they are continuously subject to economic risk, right? Country subject to economic risk because they have to make interest payments for those loans in the long run. So economic risk is there. Yes, done. Alas. Number two, according to exchange rate theory, which of the following could explain current euro per $1? Explain current euro per dollar forward exchange rate of 1.28 and 1.31. Now, can you please tell me the 6-month forward rate that they have given me here is 1.28 and 1.13, smaller and higher rate. So what do you think? According to which exchange rate theory you can see this 6 months forward rate prediction? Come on, let's look at the options. The euro inflation rate is higher than dollar inflation rate. Now, one thing is for sure. Let's have a look here. First one, euro inflation is higher than dollar inflation rate. Okay. So first of all, forward rate has any connection with inflation? Yes or no? No. It is interest rate parity theory that deals with forward rate, not purchase power parity theory. So first of all, the first option is saying inflation. We'll not look at it. Number two, supply of dollars is expected to decrease in the near future. Supply of dollars. Now, if the dollar supply is expected to decrease in the near future, what will happen? What will happen? Any idea? So for this to gauge, let's understand that what is happening here. Look at the two exchange rates. First of all, tell me the spot rate. Let's take higher rate as an example. The spot rate is 1.34, whereas 6 months forward rate is 1.31. What do you think in the future, is dollar appreciating or depreciating? First tell me this. Today, $1 is giving you 1.34 euros. Today, $1 is giving you 1.34 euros. Tomorrow, the same $1 will give you 1.31 euros. So today you are getting more euros from the dollar. Tomorrow you'll be getting less euros from that same dollar. Now, is dollar appreciated or depreciated? Please, what do you say? So once the dollar is giving you less euros, dollar is being depreciated. Now dollar is getting depreciated. So just imagine, according to interest rate parity theory, a country with higher interest rate will be subject to depreciation of its currency. A country subject to higher interest rate will be subject to depreciation of its currency. So by looking at this, it is clear that dollar is depreciating, which means the interest rate of dollar is more than euro. Interest rate of dollar is more than euro. Interest rate of dollar is more than euro. So my friends, answer is 3. The euro interest rate is lower than the dollar interest rate, which means dollar rate is higher than euro. Any country subject to higher interest rate will be subject to more depreciation of its currency. By looking at the exchange and forward rate, because interest rate parity theory will predict forward rate. So according to interest rate parity theory, dollar is depreciating. And if dollar is depreciating, the dollar interest rate will be more than the euro interest rate. So answer is C. Euro interest rate is lower than dollar interest rate. Are you with me? Say yes or no. Now, why B is not the answer? If dollar supply will decrease, dollar demand will increase. And once dollar demand will increase, dollar will appreciate, not depreciate. Will appreciate, not depreciate. This is wrong. This is wrong. Dollar will appreciate. So this is not the answer. First one is not the answer. C is the answer. Okay? Clear? Done? Last is not the answer. Why? Government of the Euro country has been selling euros from its official reserve. Now more euros available in the market means the euro will depreciate, dollar will appreciate. Euro will depreciate, dollar will appreciate. This is not the case again. Dollar is not appreciating at all. Dollar is not appreciating at all against euro. It is depreciating. So this will appreciate, this will depreciate euro. This will appreciate dollars. This is the answer where it is very clear, very clear that euro is appreciating, dollar is depreciating. Done? Question like these are creating trouble. Concept is important. Done. Next. If the company decides to make a lead payment for interest rather than using 6 months forward contract, what is the cost saving to the company of the payment? Company does not need to borrow to finance lead payment. Okay, let's solve this. How to solve this actually? How to solve this? How to solve this? We have to consider what? Lead the payment. Okay? Compared to forward contract. What is the saving? Which means I need to work out the cost if I lead the payment now. So let's see. Lead payment. Okay. How much do I have to pay? How much do I have to pay? 260,000. Okay. 260,000. So 260,000 installment I have to pay if I lead the payment, which means I'll be paying right now. Now, which rate to select everyone? You tell me. What is the rule? It is direct or indirect code? It's an indirect code. In indirect code, what you do? What is the shortcut? Bus. What is bus? Because there are two rates always. One is a lower rate and one is a higher rate. So B, buying, S, selling. Bus, the rule of bus is very simple. I've made for you people. Those who don't know, let me tell you. Lower rate, higher rate. So just to remember the rule, I have made a shortcut so that it is easy to remember the word bus. Bus, school bus. So B is buying, S is selling. B is buying, S is selling. Simple. So if the quote is indirect, which means dollar is in denominator, the rule to follow is bus. When it is bus, it's clear. Now, for making the payment in euros, will you buy euros? Will you sell euros? Sir, we'll buy euros. For payment, we'll buy euros. 1.34. How much dollar this will cost you? How much dollars? Can you tell me the answer, please? How much dollars will this cost you? For, okay, I just wrote it by mistake. It's 1.30, okay? Sorry. It's the buying rate, yeah. So this would cost you how much dollars? $200,000. $200,000. You're not with me, everyone? Okay, it's 1.30. Now, compare this with forward contract. Compare this with forward contract. If I hedge myself using forward contract, so what is the 6-month rate, everyone? Here it is. Which rate should we opt for? 1.28 or 1.31? The same rule. We want to buy it. Buy it. The buying rate is 1.28. The rule is bus. How many dollars this would cost me now? How many dollars this would cost me now? 203125. Okay? Okay. So just imagine, if I lead the payment, the cost would be 200,000. If I use a forward contract, the cost will be 203125. Come on. Tell me, how much is the additional cost? The additional cost is 3125. Classical. Lovely. Excellent. Clear, everyone? Yes? Done? So leading is better. Leading is cost effective. The cost is 200,000 versus 203125. Are you with me? Nice. So the answer is 3125. Done. Should I move? What should B company do in dollars now to correctly set up money market hedging on payment of interest expected in 6 months' time. So just now it's money market hedging. So in money market hedging, what you do? Just recall, in case of money market hedging, payment situation. In case of money market hedging, payment situation. What is the shortcut? Tell me. D C B. Wah, wah. Deposit foreign currency, convert into local currency, borrow local currency. So what the answer is asking you? Borrow dollars. Borrow dollars. What should B company do in dollars now to correctly set up money market hedging? Means how much dollars to borrow now. How much dollars to borrow now? Are you with me? Say something, yaar. Okay, let's do it. Euro 2,60,000 needs to be paid. Let's convert this into present value 1 plus foreign currency deposit rate. Foreign currency deposit rate. The amount to be paid is 260,000. Foreign currency deposit rate. Remember, this is an 1 year euro rate. So I have to take 6 monthly. I have to prorate it. Okay. So 1 divide by 12 into 6. Okay. Sorry, it's 2%. Effectively, it's 1. Okay. Done, everyone? Now, can you tell me the answer? What is the present value? The present value answer is, remember, we won't take 2%. 2% is the annual rate. We are doing 6 months hedging. So I'll prorate it, divide by 12 into 6 months. Okay. So the answer is 257,426 euros. Yeah. 257,426 euros now will be converted into dollars, my friends. We have to convert it into dollars now at the spot rate. So what is the spot rate? Sir, should we take a lower rate or a higher rate? Don't get confused. The rule is simple. You have to make interest payment, na? Huh? You have to make interest payment, na? To make payment, you buy foreign currency. So 1.3. You buy foreign currency, 1.3. Let's divide this with 1.3. And the answer that you are getting here is 198. Okay? 020. All right? So what is the answer? What is the amount to borrow in local currency? Dollars is 198,020. See, the word is now. Now. Do not add on interest of 6 months into this. Do not add on 6 months interest into this. Okay. So what you have to borrow now is 198,020. Are you with me, everyone? Say yes or no. Don't add 6 months interest into this. That is why the word written here is now. Now. Done? Say yes, yaar. Alas. Last, but not the least. Which of the following statement about interest rate risk is or are correct? Is or are correct? Could be one, could be two. A negative gap exposure means that for a given maturity date, interest sensitive liabilities are less than interest sensitive assets. So see, first of all, what is gap risk? Okay. What is negative gap risk? More liabilities than assets. Liability sensitive position is negative gap risk, where liabilities are more than the assets. But it says liabilities are less. No less, more, bhai, more, no less. This is wrong. For negative gap exposure risk, you need to have more liabilities than asset, but it says less. This is wrong. Sorry, you are wrong. This is not correct. Okay. Next. Bank loans of B company give rise to basis risk. Okay, let's go back and see what is about bank loans. It says bank loans, they have 5 million in dollars that has been split equally between fixed rate and variable rate. Okay, fixed rate and variable rate. The company has no assets generating interest rate income. Now, this is important. See, they have variable liability, variable interest rate liability. So to hedge themselves, because variable rate might go up, okay? So to hedge themselves, they don't have any counteracting asset. They don't have any counteracting variable interest generating asset. If they don't have any, so there'll be no imperfect hedging in that case. Now what do? You hedge yourself against the risk. So variable interest rate you have. If you want to hedge, you will use maybe, for example, derivatives to hedge yourself against variable interest rate liability. Once you hedge yourself, so you will hedge by creating a counter variable interest rate asset generating income. You don't have. So if you use that derivative to protect yourself, so that will result in imperfect hedging. Because what is imperfect hedging? Which means your loss might not be completely offsetted against the derivative. So because you don't have any counter adjusting variable income generating asset to protect you from this liability, so no imperfect hedging possibility. And if there is no imperfect hedging possibility, no basis risk. No basis risk. It will not give rise to basis risk because you don't have any counter adjusting interest rate assets, variable interest rate asset to generate income. So no chance of imperfect hedging, right? Understood? And imperfect hedging is basis risk, which means you are not completely hedging yourself. Your derivative is not completely covering your loss. For that, you need to have any asset to do it. You don't have here. If you don't have no imperfect hedging, no basis risk, which means neither one nor two. Neither one nor two. This is the best example of application based questions where people struggle. You have to use the scenario in second statement. You did read the scenario in second statement to figure out this. So I hope this is clear to all of you. Done? So that is the answer. No basis risk here. And this is the end. And this is what is important for section B questions, that you please need to understand that these are technical ones. You have to be very sure about these questions before finding the answer. All right, everyone. Say something useful. Understood? Okay. So I hope you enjoyed the webinar, everyone. Useful? Enjoyed it? What's your feedback? Happy? Enjoyed, everyone? Great. So that's the end of day one. I hope you learned the techniques for A, section B and C. More to come on day two, to be held on Thursday. Be with me. See you then, Thursday. Take care. For direct indirect hedging, obviously you need to know the lectures. I'm sure you are not part of my classes, and if you are, then you need to look at the basic conceptual videos. Okay, I'll let you know about the section on that day. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.